The Sentapol Wars, Chapter 8.
I don't give a flying's rat ass which star station you're from. Whether or not the rings on your planet sparkle a pretty violet color, or whether your moons spin around on their own axis and plant kisses with the comets. Sentapol will come out on top of this war, and we will have 1,000 fucking planets sending their fucking tribute to us. As a matter of courtesy, of course, we'll be sending them our elite Skyforce. It's a win fucking win.
Ignoy rattled at his companion across the table, an emissary from Yavo.
Do you know what, Ignoy? This whole city stinks, like the tasteless beer you served me. You shouldn't take your government's promises and rewards so seriously. There's more in this universe than signatories' royal favors. Try flying your friggin' tank somewhere where there ain't no war going on.
The Yavan diplomat had had enough of Ignoy's outburst and left the table, pointing his fourth finger of 7 up at Ignoy, and left Starbarrels with 2 companions. As Felix and Phil entered, the diplomat left, brushing his shoulder at Felix.
Try somewhere else, comrade, he said. The drinks here are lousy.
A bemused Felix smiled and continued on to the bar.
You didn't say the booze here was crap, Felix, said Phil.
Felix sighed.
No, I didn't. I pay much attention to what I was drinking, just what I was hearing. Have a drink, Phil. It won't kill you. Your taste buds won't be able to tell the difference, though, after a couple of hours.
They ventured inside towards the bar and waited. It was a busy night. You could tell that the atmosphere was somewhat uplifting, nervous and exhilarating. People's emotions were up and bubbly after the Amran raid, and what better way to douse an emotional thrill than to buddy up with friends and strangers, drink, get social, and get wasted. After waiting some time, they got served and ordered 2 beers between them and 2 shots of Sambua. They spotted a vacant spot in the corner of the tavern, but still close to many of the tables to allow them to eavesdrop on some unsuspecting blabbermouth. They sat down and instantly started slurping their icy cold beers. It was a cherished relief from the stresses of the day. Not only had they accomplished one of the most audacious thefts in Sentapol's history, but they were immediately victims of an equally insidious crime, notwithstanding the fact that the perpetrators were just and virtuous religious sisters, committed to bringing compassion and happiness to people all over the galaxy, not foil the plans of 2 criminal masterminds. After they were through with their beers, Felix's ears tuned into a conversation near the bar between the 2 men that caught his attention.
They did what?
One of the men exclaimed. He was of middle age with a grey streak through his hair. His companion, a younger slender man bearing a black goatee, replied,
They graffitied one of the president's palace with our name, Ex-Illumini, in black and gold. They will certainly get the president's attention. We must get more word out to the people of Sentapol. This war has lasted far too long, Cooper. Yes, I know, Hark, but we must be patient. We can't get overconfident, otherwise we will be spotted, arrested, and sent 100 light years away from here to the moons of Angkor. Where are they now? On their way here, Cooper. They made some work on some poor sucker's hoverbike in Despot Lair, blazing our name all over it. Oh, good. A little graffiti doesn't hurt anyone.
Phil was also attentive to the conversation and got up and wandered over to the 2 men. His stun gun concealed within his jacket. He pointed at the back of the man called Hawk, jarred it into his body, and spoke quietly into his ear. A little graffiti doesn't hurt anyone, you say? Well, thanks, matey. That poor sucker's hoverbike was mine, and you owe me a fresh coat of paint. That's 500 creds if you don't mind.
Sorry, said Hawk, but I think you have me mistaken for someone else.
Phil pushed the gun into Hawk's back a little further.
I don't think so.
The man known as Cooper spoke up to Hawk's defense.
Okay, my friend. We're sorry about your bike.
He started to reach into his side pocket when Felix suddenly pointed his taser in his direction. "Careful, friend," said Felix. "I don't want you to give you the pleasure of having 5,000 joints jumped up your spinal cord and into your brain." "Easy, easy." Cooper slowly put his hand in his pocket to retrieve some galactic credits, hard plastic tokens coloured red with a magnetic strip for reading the value. "Here are your 500 credits. We're sorry for your mishap, but we are only interested in getting the word out about our cause."
"And what cause might that be?" asked Phil rather rhetorically. "Ex-Illumini, what does that mean?"
Hawk wasn't particularly interested in joining in the conversation while he still had Phil's stun gun wedged in his back. He was plainly in discomfort. Hey, we cool now? We've given you the money for the bike so you can remove the weapon, pleaded Hawk. Phil paused for a moment, and when he realized there was nothing amiss from the situation, slowly lowered his gun and returned it to its holster. He glanced at his partner and gave a quick nod. Felix likewise lowered his weapon, which gave the opportunity for Cooper to speak up. "Friends, join us if you like. We'll gladly tell you about our organization." He held up the credits in his hand and Felix took them in kind. Seeing no reason to distrust them, Felix and Phil sat down at the table. However, Hawk was a little uneasy and was about to get up to leave. "Don't worry, Hawk, it's okay," said Cooper reassuringly. Hawk reluctantly agreed and sat down as Cooper began to explain the secret meaning of their organization. He huddled closer to the table, indicating the others to do the same, and began talking in a lowered voice. "The Ex-Illumini is a revolutionary organization. We are on the mission to end the war between Sentapol and Amran. We are here to illuminate the people the truth. The truth that this war is nothing more than a propaganda campaign between two greedy governments that care nothing more than to fill their coffers and grow in prestige among the galaxy's most important civilizations." Felix stumbled across the table. He found himself in an unexpected situation. What the hell was going on? I am a simple thief, not a revolutionary. My comrade and I can't expect to help the causes of the masses. We take from the rich to give to the poor. Us. I'm poor and I want the opposite, money, in as much little risk as possible. I take risks only to realize a big pot of gold at the end of a multicolor helix. Sentapol's binary system creates wonderful phenomenon on the planet as the two suns cast dazzling spectrums of light. A simple rainbow only occurs during a solar synchronized event when the two suns are aligned in a straight line towards Sentapol. However, it creates such intense heat and light, stepping outside and looking at it will make you go blind. Unfortunately, no one had informed a poor visiting Calamarian who was out visiting the high mountains surrounding Sentapol and a large lake nearby. He saw the beautiful rainbow across the lake and was bewildered by its scale and beauty. He blinked once, taken in by its awe and the colors of blue, violet, azure, aquamarine, daisy yellow, crimson, blood orange, and many others. He blinked twice. Total darkness. Cooper continued. Our mission is to end the Cold War between Sentapol and Amran. We're planning on hijacking Sentapol Air Network to broadcast to billions of viewers of the false claims made by our government regarding the recent air raid, and others like them before, that it's just a hyped up military scare campaign. How are the people so deceived? Asked Phil, suddenly now curious. We've been across this planet many times before, and we don't see the destruction that they tell us there is. Are people so blind that they'll believe anything? Continued propaganda efforts by the government, replied Hawk, interviewing so-called victims of the Amran attacks. Usually simple civilians were rewarded quite considerably to keep quiet. No one wants to know the truth. They want us to believe we are waging a moral fight against Amran, so that our people and many others from multiple star systems will rally against Sentapol and put their allegiance to us. It will make Sentapol a powerful civilization, but it's all based on lies and a thirst for power. We want peace and knowledge. We believe that the religious orders can help us in this regards, as they are viewed neutrally by many cultures across the galaxy, including Amran. In fact, one of our own is working at the Sisters of the Holy Motherly Heavenly Saints, and they're trying to gather numbers to our cause. Did you say the Sisters of the Holy Motherly Heavenly Saints? Interrupted Felix. Right here in Sentapol City, on the other side of Despot Lair. Yes, that's the place, said Cooper. Why the interest? Felix was a little careful to divulge too much information about the stolen Bejan silver, most probably held at the convent of the Sisters of the Holy Motherly Heavenly Saints. But if he knew someone who worked there, it might prove useful to infiltrate the establishment. What if I were to tell you we could add considerably financial resources towards your cause? If you don't mind a little bit of hush-hush work, that is. And by your recent graffiti handiwork, it seems you don't. What exactly do you mean? Said Cooper, willing to listen. Hawk wasn't so sure, but had trust in his mentor and leader. We understand that there is a considerable amount of Bejan silver locked in the vault at the Saints' Convent. About 2 bars worth. We plan on stealing it, but it would help considerably if we knew someone on the inside in whom we could trust. Someone who could access the vault's security codes and the convent's alarm systems. Felix wasn't about to reveal the true quantity of Bejan silver, but certainly enough to entice Cooper and his friend. That's worth about 1 million galactic credits, said Hawk. What if we help you? What's our cut? Felix glanced at Phil, who knew that there was far less than what was actually there. Phil shrugged back at Felix, trusting his friend to make an offer and potentially work with the ex-Illumini group. 1 bar, about 500,000 credits. I think it's fair, and we will go well towards your campaign for recruiting, acquiring weapons, whatever it is you need. Okay, that sounds fine, said Cooper, but a little uncertain. Suppose we do agree to help you. What's stopping us, though, from trying to steal the Bejan silver ourselves? Or you taking off with it before giving us our share? Gentlemen, said Felix coolly, we all know a little now of each other's history. If one should try and take the silver for themselves, then the other just need to go to the authorities and hand them over. We'll say we overheard you and Star Barrels talking about stealing it. It's enough to get Sentapol police interrogating you, not to mention the graffiti on our bike. I'm sure Sentapol police would want to know a great deal about the ex-Illumini and their grand design of taking over Sand. Cooper could not argue with that, and indeed if Felix and Phil decided to take off with the Bejan silver, he could easily get one of his recruits working at the convent to hand them over before they had the chance to run off. He agreed, and the parties then shook hands and arranged plans. This worked out well for Felix and Phil, as it would save them time on surveying the convent grounds. The colleague at the Sisters' Convent was known as Sister Lucy. She was still a novitiate, but very committed to the ex-Illumini cause of ending this ludicrous war. Felix told them about their plans to arrange a distraction to get almost everyone out of the convent via a blessing on an Amran prince. They all decided to meet with Sister Lucy in person, as it seemed a delicate matter to discuss over a video wave. They decided they would meet up again tomorrow at Ruby's Pension House in the Foyer's bar. Cooper would contact Sister Lucy to ask her to come then. Until then, said Felix, and he and Phil got up and left the bar.